Every year, 1,000 to 2,000 people travel around the globe to serve with Maranatha. Each one has a special journey that brought them to the mission field. A unique story that often begins long before they step foot on a project. Stories like Daphne Mazes. In June 2022, Daphne was one of 63 volunteers who served in Arequipa, Peru on one of Maranatha's annual family projects. But her journey to Peru starts 25 years earlier in Mexico on her first Maranatha mission trip as a teenager.
Well, I remember I was in Chiapas, it was a really hot area. We slept in tents. They set up, makeshift showers with tarps, and yeah, that was fun. We built a church, but it had the classrooms on the side. Steve Case was leading it, and that was really neat. It was really awesome to watch the building go up and watch everybody working as a team. Like the church service at the end, when we got to worship there with the local people, that this was their church and we were kind of handing it over to them. That was super impactful.
As a teen, the trip cemented a desire to serve throughout her adult life. She even had dreams of becoming a full-time missionary. Fast forward to 2022. Daphne, now a mother of 2, felt distant from the aspirations of her youth.
It has been a really rough few years, and I'm not going to share a lot of details, but I will say that circumstances that have happened, choices that I've made, have made me feel unworthy of God's love in a lot of ways. Even though I've known my whole life, we always say we're all sinners. I feel like we all kind of hold different sins to different levels, and we can be really hard on ourselves, even more so than other people are. And so I felt unable, in a way, to be able to continue serving in the capacities that I used to serve in.
Sensing a need to return to her roots of service and desiring to instill the same passion into her kids, Daphne was eager for an opportunity to volunteer again.
Brisa, who's 15, was looking at going on the ultimate workout, and we just weren't quite ready to let her to fly to Peru by herself. So I got online and was looking at the projects that Maranatha had. And I've always kind of wanted to come to Peru anyway. So I was excited to see that they had a family project, and that meant that David could come too.
Daphne registered and brought her kids to Peru to help build a church for the Los Portales Seventh-day Adventist congregation. For years, these faithful members met in the open air, sitting on mats each Sabbath. Eventually, they built 2 small structures, which were better than nothing, but not ideal for worship or large enough for the group to grow. Then they received the news that Maranatha was coming.
No voy a decir que felicidad al escuchar que Maranatha venía, porque desconocía quién era Maranatha y en qué se componía, ¿no? Pero cuando visitó Pastor Steve aquí, él personalmente nos explicó del proyecto y ahí sentimos la alegría, ¿no? Y el Pastor Steve hizo una oración muy linda que me marcó esa primera visita. En su última oración aquí en Templo de Portales dijo: Señor, que vengan los que tienen que venir y los que no, que se queden allí. Me quedó muy marcado porque es que los que estuvieron aquí es que Dios los trajo. No hubo casualidad, no hubo buena suerte. Todos los llegaron porque Dios estuvo aquí, nos trajeron y ahora estamos sonriendo junto a ellos.
Daphne and the rest of the volunteers started to bring Los Portales' dream to reality. Though many of the volunteers had little construction experience, Maranatha's in-country crew patiently guided them in the art of block laying. Even the youngest volunteers could participate in the work. Children as young as 2 years old worked at the church site for several days until the walls rose above their reach. Once scaffolding was needed, kids age 12 and under served in other ways as a part of the project's day camp.
Day camp is a program for the kids on the family project, and we get to do construction, but we also get to do other things.
It was fun. Lots of parents were jealous, I guess. But we had a lot of fun doing day camp, and working on the construction site and helping with that too.
Children helped a team of volunteers to paint a local police station. They supported the Children's Ministry Outreach Team, who put on programs for kids in the Los Portales neighborhood. And they helped in the kitchen for meal prep. Kids also had the opportunity for field trips to experience local culture.
They take you places you can see part of wherever you are, and you can see like different cool things, and your parents don't have to watch you while they're doing their job, like painting or construction.
Yesterday we went to a market and we bought lots of delicious fruits and vegetables, and it was very interesting to buy food from the Peruvians. In US, you usually go to a grocery store and buy your groceries there, but it was really nice to see all those different kinds of fruits. Some I hadn't even tasted, like the dragon fruit and the star fruit, so I'd always wanted to taste those, and I finally got to.
We went to the school, and it was interesting to see how they did their school day every day, and it was fun to see my friends that I saw when we were playing soccer. They were excited to see me.
I've never been to a country that speaks a different language, so this was a very new experience for me. We understood a little bit of Spanish, and they understood a little bit of English. It turns out you don't always need words to communicate.
Even Daphne got a chance to join in on the fun with her son when the group visited a local instrument shop to see how handcrafted mandolins were made.
I play a little bit of guitar, a little bit of ukulele, and so I was really excited to find out that that's where the day camp was going on the day that David begged me to come with him.
It was cool to see how he makes the guitars by hand and uses like only one machine to shave it down or cut them.
It was really unique that they soaked it and then they used the heat to bend it, and it was weird how it just bended like anything, flexible, like it was flexible.
The smoke that gets caught under that U shape, they scrape off into the sawdust from the wood that they've been cutting and turn it black, and they use that black sawdust to make parts of the designs on the guitars and ukuleles, which is, wow, that was just incredible.
Daphne was intrigued by the process, but realized it also contained a spiritual message.
Things that we normally would just throw away, sweep into a corner, toss in the garbage can, he actually used to make something beautiful on these instruments. And it's just a reminder that God does the same thing with us. We might feel like we're garbage, or, our lives aren't what he wants, but he can take that and he can turn it into something beautiful if we let him.
When we come back, meet another volunteer with past spiritual struggles looking to get back on track in Peru. A few years ago, Efric Rombley might not have chosen to serve on a mission trip in his spare time. He kept the Sabbath, but the rest of the week, he did what he pleased. He lived for vacations and parties, and scripture reading was rare. He realized his focus had become more and more about himself.
So then I started going back to church, and then COVID hit. So then we could not go to church anymore, and then it was just 3 ABN straight. And then for the past 2 years, I have been watching 3 ABN every Sabbath, Friday evening. And you saw the different projects they were doing and testimonies, because you interview people and they give testimonies of how this trip has influenced their lives and changed them and brought them spiritually closer to God. And that's experience I was looking to have for myself.
Efric waited for the right opportunity to volunteer and was eventually pushed forward to join the family project in Peru through a contest at his job.
The winner would have got a prize money, each team. And I did my work as normal as usual, and I was thinking on going on this project, and I had no idea that my team would have won, and my team won the project. So my whole team got $2,000 per person. So when I saw that, I like, this is a gift from God, and I booked one time the trip to go Maranatha.
Soon, Efric found himself at the Los Portales church site, out of breath at nearly 9,000 feet and learning brand new skills.
I grabbed some $2 and I came quick and I went and I gotta slow down. So then I like, okay, I gotta pace myself, because you forget that you're 9,000 feet above. You believe you're just normal but no. Growing up, I was smart. Wisdom up there, like book smart. And I have a lot of friends that are handy. And I always say I want to learn some hands-on work. So that's why I really put myself for construction. And it's tough. It's tough, but it's nice. And I'm learning. I'm learning to lay blocks, place blocks, make sure that everything is lined up. It's just amazing. So when I go back home now, I'll be able to assist laying blocks.
Efric especially appreciated Maranatha's in-country crew members who helped to teach him his new skills.
These guys, they are more professionals than us, but they take the time to show you. They don't hassle you. They don't get on with you, and that's the nice part of it. There's nobody behind you pushing you, telling you this is wrong. They correct you in a nice manner, and that's just love. That's just showing you brotherly love. And I feel, although I'm by myself, I feel that the other families include me as their family, and we're just one big happy family here together. It's amazing how we all just embrace each other, and I think that's the power of God and the power of our Seventh-day Adventists as a whole. Personally, we live in a world, most of us, where we're just in a fast pace and just thinking on ourselves, me. And I think it's good for me to give back and be selfless. And the joy what this trip has brought me already is just amazing. I learned that I can do anything that I put my head to. And God spiritually, He, coming to this trip, I was nervous, excited and nervous. And the nervousness is gone. It's just pure excitement. It's just like, I belong here. And that's amazing. And I think that's God working.
When we return, volunteers make a difference throughout the greater Los Portales area. Besides working on a new building for the Los Portales Church, Family Project volunteers served in the area throughout the week in other ways, including at a local police station in need of a refresh.
We found pretty much every room in disarray as far as the paint, especially the ceiling. The ceiling has been peeling off for a long time. We had to scrape the ceiling more than once. We scraped and sanded, and then we cleaned and put one coat of paint, only to come back the next day and have some of the paint already peeling. So we had to do the whole process again about 3 times. And we finally figured out a process that worked, and I think it's going to be all right. And then all the walls, we pretty much patched the holes and cleaned them, and then sanded, and then put a couple of coats of paint. And they requested us to do a 6-inch border on the inside on all the walls. And I felt like that was a great idea because it's looking really nice. We felt like we wanted to make the place look better as a witness to the work of Maranatha and the work of the people from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I felt like it's a witness in an indirect way. We don't have to be preaching to these people. We feel like what we are doing, I think, speaks a whole lot more than just preaching the gospel to them. They will remember the group.
Another way volunteers connected with the community was by providing health education and free vision clinics. Lorena Castro and her husband Daniel helped in the vision clinic, serving long lines of neighbors that gathered each day in hopes of improved vision. The Castros dug through hundreds of donated eyewear to find prescription glasses to fit each person.
And what we do is try on pair after pair after pair of donated glasses. And oftentimes the most special moments have been when I've told them, I don't think we have what you need. In fact, none of these were made for you, but we're going to pray and we're going to ask God that if He has something for you here, that we'll be able to find it. And so we've bowed our heads and we've prayed. And it hasn't been once or twice, it's been a bunch of times, because that's often the scenario that happens. So, yeah. And then to see them find something and go, oh, these are it,
The expression and the joy on other faces is just, I wish there were a camera there all the time, because you can't repeat that, those eyes, that smile, that facial expression when they say, and they talk to somebody else, I can see. And today one of the ladies, her joy was she put on a set of glasses and now she could thread a needle. And we had a needle and thread and she says, I can do it.
Daniel and Lorena and their 3 sons had served with Maranatha before and knew how impactful the experience had been as a family. They felt it was important to serve together again.
It gave me a glimpse of just how my children, whom I pray for every day, could be blessed as they were trying to bless other people and giving to someone else, how their worldview could be altered and made more godly, more selfless rather than self-centered, less materialistic, how they could learn to consider others.
I see that they were involved, that they're not afraid of getting their hands dirty, of getting their faces dirty, of being achy and connecting. Yeah. It's really enjoyable also to see them connect with other like-minded young people.
I think trusting God that He can teach my kids, just as He says He will, and I myself will. The Lord Himself will teach your children. Watching them work and enjoy away from me, because really they're at a different site. I don't see them all day until evening, and yet seeing that indeed God is at work. Just as He's in my life, He is at work in their life.
Gilson Gerato's family also served on a previous Maranatha mission trip. In 2019, they went to Zambia on a family project and felt the trip not only brought them closer to each other, but to God. They wanted to experience that again.
There was a lot of emphasis on spirituality with the morning worship and the evening worships every day, and also together with getting to meet people. And we felt like that really brought us closer to Christ, and I think it had a huge impact on our teenage daughter. I felt like she grew spiritually and matured, and I felt like it kind of brought her closer to Christ, and that's pretty much it. I felt like she, it was a good step in her life with Christ. She was younger at that time. I think she was 14, but I think it was a turning point in her life.
Sometime after that trip, Gilson's daughter, Juliana, decided to get baptized.
I thought back to how I wanted it to be like a really special event, and I wanted it to be meaningful to me, to my family, to others, and I wanted to do that by getting baptized on a mission trip. So I thought first I could do my school one to Puerto Rico, but then that got canceled because of COVID. So we planned to do it here in Peru, actually last year, when we were all going to go with a few other families, so it would be really special that way. But then that got canceled because of COVID too. So now I finally have the opportunity to do that here.
Juliana would be baptized as a part of a dedication ceremony of the Los Portales Church. After a week of serving the community in a variety of ways, the volunteers and local members came together to celebrate the work that had been done and the bright future of the congregation.
This was special because I got baptized as the first one here, and that's just really nice of them to let me be the first one to be baptized at their church here in Peru.
It was a fitting end to a week of service that not only saw new commitments to God, but the renewal of faith.
It's been a good growing experience. It's been spiritually good to help open up my mind and draw me back into that mindset, to grow feeling that God can use me even when I think He can't, and for my kids to be able to see and experience the service to others, and hopefully then, because we've experienced it together, we can take it home and help that grow at home too.
Yourself can get back down to earth and have more, appreciate the smaller things of life even more than just be chasing after the riches and the glory of this world, because that will bring us nothing. We need to have that spiritual growth, and this would be a good experience. I would advise anyone to take one of these trips, because it will change them. It will change them spiritually and mentally. It will make you have a different look at your life.
We get so focused on the things we have or the things we want, and our world gets really small. And so I just really recommend getting your kids out, and I think it's best to do it with your kids, get them out there. And not only are you helping them see more and hopefully learn to be passionate about serving others and not just focusing on themselves, but you're also creating memories together, and those memories will never go away.
I guess I could say I have one regret. My only regret is that we didn't start doing this earlier with our boys. And if your kids are younger and you have a chance to go, by all means, take advantage. Broadens their horizons. The world is so much more than what they see in their friends and their fads and their cell phones and their whatever, tag is on their clothes. There's so much more. It's such an incredible thing to be part of what God is doing in a way that you couldn't do it by yourself. So that's one of the huge things about Maranatha, that it brings together so many people to do something that a single family could never do.
When you go on a Maranatha family project like this one, all the volunteers grow closer together as a family, and everyone becomes friends. So we're like one big family.
The way things are set up and organized, I think, is purposely to integrate people so they can, from the very beginning, start making friendships and helping each other. And the other thing is, on the construction site too, you're going to have to pretty much meet everybody and help each other, and it's just a lot of fun. It's hard work, but a lot of fun too. So don't be afraid to send your child or your kid.
They should go. It's fun, and you get a really good experience with God.